Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally telling you guys my labor and delivery story. I posted the labor and delivery vlog, and below I wrote thumbs up if you liked and if you want to see a labor and delivery story, and I got a lot of thumbs up. So here we go. On May 24th, that was a Monday I believe, so on Monday, May 24th, I woke up around like 4 a.m. or like 2 a.m. To go to the bathroom because I was like cramping, and I didn't know if it was like period cramps or if I had to poop. TMI. So I woke up and I just went to the bathroom and nothing. I just peed, regular, nothing happened. I went back to sleep, and then at around 4 a.m. I woke up again and I was cramping. I had the same feeling, and I went to the bathroom again, nothing. But that time I did see like a little bit of blood, but it was super faint, and it was just pink and it was very faint, and I thought I was seeing things. It was the middle of the night. I was like, I don't think there's anything. So I woke up at 7:30 to take my sister to school that day, and I went to the bathroom again, and I saw that I had blood in when I wiped. Again, TMI, but whatever. You guys are watching this, there's gonna be a lot of gross things. It was like a string, and it was like mucusy. There's the baby. The blood was very faint again, but I could see it. It was definitely there. And so I was like, I thought that it was like my mucus plug fell out, and you know, I was convinced. So I googled it, and it said that your mucus plug can fall out weeks before you give birth. But I was already 39 weeks pregnant and just so impatient. So that day I got up, I took my sister to school, and I called Tony and I said, you know, my mucus plug fell out, I'm pretty sure. But don't worry about it, I'm not really having any contractions. Stay close by to your phone so that if anything happens, you know, I can call you. By the way, it's been a month since I gave birth. It's been over a month. It's been like 6 weeks. So all the details aren't gonna be like perfect. I'm just saying. So that day I picked up Tony from his job. We went to Publix, and I was cramping, okay? That whole day I was cramping, and it was like period cramps. Like I was having a period, and I was like, this sucks, but it's not contractions because I don't know where it starts, I don't know where it stops. It just felt like cramping. So at around 11-ish, we went to sleep, or we tried to go to sleep. We were like, okay, let's try to get some rest. It's getting stronger, so this is probably it, but I was trying to get some rest because I knew I had a long day coming. We tried to go to sleep, but I could not sleep. I was falling asleep, and then I would have a contraction and it would wake me up. And so I was using a timing app, like a contraction timer. So at around 1 a.m. I called my mom because she was in her room, and because I was in so much pain, I called her and I was like, I think it's time. I got up and I took a shower and we left. As soon as I got in the car, the contractions stopped. They just stopped, and I was so nervous that I was gonna get to the hospital and be sent back. They put me in a wheelchair and took me to a room, and they said, you know, we're gonna check you and see if you're, you know, dilating and if you're contracting, and if so, then we're gonna keep you. And around 2:30, they said, okay, you're gonna stay here. You're like 3 centimeters dilated. So they gave me an IV, and I couldn't eat after that. Around 4 a.m., the anesthesiologist, I can never say that word, anesthesiologist, he came in and he put in the epidural. It was painful, but the pain just went away. It was like magic. The bad part was that I could not feel my legs at all. So around 5:30 or 6, they came in to check if I was dilating, and I was 5 centimeters dilated at that point. And I thought, you know, I'm progressing really fast. Like, he'll be here within whatever. Like, I was just thinking that it was just gonna be so easy. I could not sleep the entire night because I couldn't feel my legs, and I started panicking, and I was like, I can't feel my legs, I can't do anything, and I was just trying to calm down, but they kept saying, like, you need to breathe for the baby, blah blah blah. They had to give me an oxygen mask because I was panicking, and the baby wasn't getting enough oxygen, and they saw that his heart rate was dropping when I was having a contraction, and so that really scared me. So after that, they kept coming in to check. I wasn't dilating, the same thing was happening, his heart rate was dropping when I would contract. So around 1:20 in the afternoon, they came in and said, if you haven't progressed in an hour, we have to talk about other options. They didn't necessarily say C-section, but I knew what that meant. So, I forgot to mention that around 9:30 a.m. On May 25th, they came in and broke my water because it hadn't broken on its own, and they said that it was clear. So after the hour passed, they came in and said that I hadn't made any progress. He checked me, nothing, and he said that when they broke my water, it had meconium in it, and I was like really confused because before they had said that it was clear, and now he's saying that it had meconium, which is when the baby takes his first poop in the belly. That also scared me on top of what was already happening. And he said, you know, you have meconium in your water, you haven't progressed at all, and his heart rate is dropping when you contract, so it's better if, you know, we have a C-section now. At that point, you know, everybody just left the room. They said, you know, it's gonna be like 30 minutes. They started getting ready. I was terrified. I started crying. I was absolutely terrified. This was not part of the plan. I was just thinking about everything. I was thinking, you know, I'm not gonna have that experience. You know, I had every reason to be sad because it's not the experience I wanted. However, I wanted my baby to be okay, and that was my main priority, obviously. They took me into the room, and it was just me. Tony had to stay outside until they got everything ready. They were like checking me, and they were like poking me with like needles to see if I could feel it, and I could feel my right side. My left side was completely numb, but my right side, like, I could feel it a little, and I was really scared, and I was like, I can feel that, and so they were like, oh my god, like, she said she can feel it. They were about to start like cutting into me, but I could feel it, and so they gave me more anesthesia. Is that how you say it? Whatever, you guys know what I mean. So they gave me more anesthesia, and I was fine. Tony came in, and he was actually FaceTiming my mom while the whole thing was happening. He couldn't see anything. Time passed. I don't think it was really that long, but it felt like forever. So there was a nurse sitting next to me, and she said, his head is out, but he hadn't cried, and I was really scared. So I could feel pressure, but I couldn't feel any pain. It was just a lot of pressure. And at one point they started, like, it felt like somebody was jumping on top of me, like a really heavy person was just crushing my ribs, and I could not breathe. And I was like, what's happening? And she was like, it's okay, it's just to get the baby out, whatever. And I was like freaking out. So I finally heard him cry after she said that his head is out, and I started crying immediately. It was like music to my ears. At that point, they told Tony, you know, do you want to see him? Tony got to see him first, which is so unfair, but he got to see him first. And from the time that Tony was gone to the time that they brought the baby to me, felt like hours and hours. In that time that he was gone and I was there by myself, they were stitching me back up, I started like hyperventilating, and I could not breathe from them pushing so hard on me. I couldn't breathe, and I was like, I can't breathe, and they were like, it's okay, whatever. I was like, no, you don't understand, I feel like I'm dying. I literally felt like I was dying, and I was just like saying to myself, I was praying, I was like, I just want to meet my baby, please, I just want to meet my baby. And they had to give me some medicine to relax, and I did, and that also made me loopy. I'm using my computer as lighting because it's getting dark outside and I don't have any equipment. sorry you guys. So it turns out that his umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, and that is why his heart rate kept dropping. And I actually didn't know this until I was editing the labor and delivery vlog, and I heard that the nurse said, you know, his umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, but everything's okay. And he said that to me while I was holding my baby. So I wasn't listening to him. I was loopy. All these things I didn't know, and they didn't say anything afterwards. They didn't say anything, and hearing that like just shocked me completely. I was like, oh my god, what? So after that, they took him away to the recovery room, and they finished stitching me back up, and then I got to go into the recovery room. They gave him a bath. He was the most beautiful baby I have ever seen in my life. He is everything. I got to breastfeed him, and that is just another story on its own. It was extremely difficult. I ended up staying in the hospital for 3 days instead of 2. Initially it was going to be 2, but they gave me an option to stay an extra day because I was having a hard time recovering. Recovering from the C-section was very difficult. They took me into a like suite type of room, and it was amazing, but it was hard. So after that, I finally got to take him home after the 3rd day, and here we are. It's been 1 month with this wonderful creature, and I'm about to bring him in. You guys have probably seen him in my vlogs, but if you're new here, meet Mateo. Mateo. He was a 6-pound, 7-ounce baby. He was very, very small, and he is getting so big and chunky. Right now, he's like 10 pounds already, and he's 6 weeks old. It's July 9th right now, so yeah, he's about to be 7 weeks. And time is flying by, you guys. It is just flying by, and it's making me so sad and so happy at the same time. So yeah, he was born at 3:43 p.m. on May 25th, and he's just my everything. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below, and I'm happy to answer them. If I missed anything, I probably did. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Say bye-bye, baby. Bye, guys.